And welcome everybody to the Be Real, Get Real podcast. I am your host, Nancy Matthews with Women's Prosperity Network. And we started this podcast to bring you amazing women being real, getting real, and achieving real results. And today I have the privilege of introducing you to someone I met not too long ago. I think it was only about a year and a half or something like that, Dotty. And we connected through a mutual client, and then you came out to one of our events, and I've so enjoyed getting to know you and really seeing how you play and show up in our community and in the world. So thank you for being with us today.
And thank you for having me, Nancy.
It's my pleasure. I love to showcase amazing women doing cool things, and you definitely are. So as you all know, this podcast is about real women sharing real stories. So more than talking about our businesses and, the way we serve it through our businesses in the community and the world, today's really about getting to know some of the women who are part of Women's Prosperity Network, who are contributing to the world in amazing ways. And Dotty Scott, let me tell you a little bit about her background, and then we'll dive into the conversation today, which is about being specific when you're asking for what you want. So it's going to be a juicy one, my friends. So Dotty Scott is the owner of premium websites and AskDotty.com. And she has been self-employed for 15 years. She's been through the lows, the struggles, and the highs of self-employment. And now she often comments, I'm no longer employable, me neither. She's a website designer, a speaker, and a trainer. And I'm grateful to have you with us today.
Thank you. And I truly am no longer employable.
I know. And we say that, and I suspect you, like me, if push came to shove, I'd go get a job.
No, I would not. If push comes to shove, I would find something else I can do. I can't work for somebody.
Well, and that is the entrepreneurial spirit. And the truth of it is there's always a way to look at what gifts, skills, talents, or even interests you have and bring it to other people and serve them, and they'll be happy to pay you. There's always a way to do that.
Yes, there is. It's just helping people figure that out.
Yes, it is. And part of it is too, and maybe this is a fun jumping off point for us. One of the things I've discovered is that being a business owner requires other skill sets other than the main thing you're really good at.
A ton of them.
And it's not always easy for people to take that on, right?
No. And some of the advice I give some of my clients on that line right there is that if it's something that gives you like that feeling in your stomach, that horrible feeling that you get just thinking about whatever that item is, find somebody that you can outsource that to.
Correct.
So that you can do what you do and what makes you feel good, and they would love to do your bookkeeping. For me, it's bookkeeping.
Right.
It just gets me all wound up there.
Well, and isn't it interesting? So that's the thing that it is for you, and the actual thing you do in business with websites designing and hosting and all the tech pieces, that creates that yucky pit of the stomach feeling for a lot of people.
Right. So figure out what you love and outsource what you hate.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about this topic of being specific about what you ask for, because I can even think of a few things like myself, like at the time of this broadcast, we're in the midst of the COVID-19 and the lockdown and the pandemic. And I saw somebody posted on social media a meme that says, "Dear 2020, none of this crap was on my vision board." And then I thought, but was it? Did you ask to have more time with family and friends? Did you ask to not have to run around so much? Did you ask for time to work on that book and some projects and do some self-care? Like, what did you ask for?
Exactly, because you never know how it's going to be answered.
Yes.
Yeah. So just to give you a little background, this last year, almost 2 years, has just been, on a personal side, a lot of turmoil in my family. And in the last July, my mom passed away after having a long illness, and it was her time and ready and all of that. But then it was up to me to sell her house and get everything ready, and that whole piece there. And part of my family was living in the home, didn't really have a place to go, hadn't quite figured out where he was going to land, all of that stuff. So it took a lot longer for the process than what I personally had envisioned and had asked for. And so, you know, I just kind of, at the end of the year, it was like, okay, here's your deadline, have all your stuff out, we need to sell the house, you know, all of that stuff. And, you know, it was kind of like one of those things where I didn't have the heart to go and get rid of everything that's not mine or sell it or whatever, and have my brother hold that over my head for the rest of my life. So I didn't want to go that route. So I just started asking a higher power, you can call him God, whatever fits your prescription. I just started asking for solutions to this problem. And I didn't really specifically say what that solution might look like. I was just kind of putting it out to the universe, you know, here's my problem, help me solve it. And in February, my mom's house washed away in a flood.
Wow.
Problem solved, but not the way I wanted it to be.
Wow. So the decision, and actually the struggle you were experiencing, what do I do about my brother and his stuff? You wanted to maintain the relationship, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
And so I love that you didn't have the answer yourself, so you turned it over to a higher power.
Exactly. And I did that and was shocked at what I got. But, you know, this whole experience has taught me to, one, yes, be specific in solutions that I'm really wanting when I ask. But also,
I could have phrased that question a little differently, right?
yeah, exactly. But the other thing that it's really kind of helped me do is that it's allowed me to put things into perspective better. You know, it's like, what is it that really was upsetting me about this whole situation? And then being able to reframe that and have it not bother me, because I was really, really upset about the whole thing. As you know, you can imagine anybody that had gone through something like that would be upset about it. But then how do you turn that into a more positive energy so that you can carry that forward into your life and what you're doing, instead of getting stuck in that really bad place?
So I'm curious, and that's great advice for all of us to take in. So listen carefully, my friends. I'm curious, how did your brother handle all that?
He hasn't very well handled it. I really haven't talked to him a whole lot since then, but he's kind of in a lost place. He's, I guess you call it couch surfing right now. He doesn't really have a solid place to live and doesn't really have a job, and he's just kind of lost.
And again, I think that's another thing that you can turn over to a higher power.
Exactly, if you want to.
Yeah.
He's not the type to do that, but.
Well, no, it's you turning it over.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Him and I have felt or witnessed isn't the right word, experienced the same things, and we've had two completely different outcomes. And I think that it's within the power of the person to direct that outcome. And then what you're not capable of handling, again, turning it over or asking for help from various different places. I really got help from Donna Blevins on this.
Good.
Interestingly enough, she had said something on one of our Zoom meetings back in, like, I don't know, October-ish. And because of what she had said, I wanted to meet her. I was really new. I didn't know her name. I didn't write it down. I couldn't figure out. I think I even contacted you and tried to describe the person. And we never did figure out who it was. And when iLive came about in February, I thought, she's going to be there. I'm going to go and I'm going to go meet her. And,
Wow.
and I'm going to recognize her when I see her. And I put that out. Had no idea what her name was. I didn't contact her beforehand, but she was there. And so that was a great thing. I tell myself I manifested her to go.
Yeah, you manifested her to go and be sitting next to you at a table and come up with things to do together. And you are a powerful creator, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And anyway, so she really helped me with her mind visualization that she does to put this problem into its proper place. And now it doesn't bother me.
Beautiful.
At all.
Beautiful.
And so, I mean, before I was losing sleep over it. I was getting that knot in my stomach, just the whole, it's like, how do I deal with this? But she was able to help me turn that. And then not only that, but now I know how to turn that for anything. So, anything in the future that comes up, I can then channel that into a better, more positive place.
Beautiful, beautiful. I can't wait to have her on my podcast. It's happening soon. So that's awesome.
Yay.
That is awesome. So tell us a little bit more about what prompted you to go into entrepreneurship 15 years ago.
A lot of external events. I say I'm not employable, and that I truly am not. I am one of these people. When I was working, I was a great employee, and the businesses always took advantage of that. And I was at a point in my life, my daughter was about 6. She was going into the 1st grade, and we were new to this area where I live now. We had just moved here, and didn't know anybody. I definitely wouldn't suggest that strategy for starting a business, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But what really prompted it was I wanted to work from home. I wanted to be available for my daughter, and I wanted to be in control of my own income. So I didn't want to be attached to a network marketing company that could be in control of what I make. Not that I don't think that's a good business model. It's just not what I wanted for me. So that's really what prompted it. And I decided on this. I taught myself how to do it. I figured out how to market it, and I went for it.
Awesome. And 15 years later, here you are.
I'm still here.
Still here, and I would imagine with the onset of more and more people realizing the importance of having their business be online, your business is probably doing well right now.
It is.
Yes.
Yes. I've not, I mean, to be honest with you, I have had a slowdown in my actual inquiries coming in. But a year and a half ago, I put in some residual pieces to my business. And so that has really helped me keep everything on track.
Beautiful. I remember we talked about that, the residual pieces. And I think that it's important for every business to have something that is ongoing on a monthly basis, because if you don't, every day you wake up unemployed. Right.
And every month you start over at 0.
Correct.
Which so I was tired of doing.
Yeah. Good. Awesome. Yay. All right, cool. So what would you say to someone listening out there who may be going through a tough time, or, this whole concept of being specific about what you asked for and the fact that you wrote it, you kind of said you turned it over. What would you advise to somebody who might be going through a struggle right now and they're trying to solve it and they just don't know what to do?
I would say to realize that you are really, truly in control of the outcome. And a lot of people really struggle with that. They feel like everything is outside of their control. But it depends on how you look at it. And if you can look at it like you're in control, ask yourself, how would you like this to be resolved? Like, what would be the ideal solution? and then maybe ask for help to get to that ideal solution. And if you're going to turn it over like I did, be more clear on your ideal solution than what I was.
Right. Be really clear. I want to see my brother whole, his stuff moved, da, 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 da. I had an amazing thing happen years ago. I was selling a house, and I wrote a letter to myself because I'm big on journaling and writing visualizations. So my vision of what I wanted is I wanted the right person to buy my house. I wanted to net a certain amount of money. I wanted the real estate agent to make her money. And within 4 days of writing that letter, the house sold and closed.
And everybody got what you had in that letter, right?
Everybody got what I had in that letter. And I don't think I realized it because I had my house listed for a while and there was no action around it, and I got cranky about something. And then I was like, oh, it's me. I need to shift my energy around it.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I'll give you all the details of that amazing story. It was phenomenal. And it's the power of intention and asking for what you want, because I think sometimes we're afraid to ask for what we want.
Sometimes we don't know what we want.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
So
that's the first thing to figure out. Figure out, what do you really want?
Yeah, what is the ideal outcome of whatever situation you're in?
Yeah.
And try to get towards that, whatever it is.
Yeah. And a great way to get there is, one of the things that we are really good at as humans is being able to verbalize what we don't want.
True.
We're really good at that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want pizza. I don't want Chinese. Well, what do you want? I don't know. Like we do
Process of elimination.
and I think that is a process of elimination. It's actually a brain function. And the key is, as soon as we notice what you don't want, like you didn't want to have to, ask your brother to leave and get rid of all the stuff. You didn't want to have to deal with that and do that.
Right.
Right. So you said, we need a solution. And so as soon as you verbalize what it is you don't want, then you go, oh, well, what do I want? What would make me happy? What would create a win-win-win all around?
Right.
The answer will come.
And that was the step I missed.
Yeah. But now you know.
That's right. Now I'm using those steps in my business.
I love it. As we're talking, and part of the reason that this series is about really getting to know the women behind the business is, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And for everybody listening in, I don't know about you, but if I'm going to have somebody working on my online business, my website, my hosting, all of those pieces of the puzzle that are vital to our businesses these days, don't you want someone awesome like Dotty doing it? That's what I say.
Yay! Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So Dotty's information is below, and I guess they can go to askdotty.com.
Premiumwebsites.net is my main
Okay.
website. The other one is in transition right now.
Okay, so we'll send them to premiumwebsites.net. And thank you so much for sharing your story and for being with us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
All right, my absolute pleasure. And to all of our listeners out there, thanks for joining us for the Be Real, Get Real podcast. We'll be back next week with another episode of an amazing woman who's out there in the world making a positive impact and having a pretty good time doing it, no matter what shows up. Bye, everybody. Bye, Dotty.
Bye.